So, today we are doing a review on the band Ad Infinitum and their debut album, Chapter 1, Monarchy. Now, I was supposed to have had this review out yesterday, but I got distracted whilst writing up the review. It took a little longer than I expected. I had to do modding in a Twitch stream. Then I got sidetracked playing a video game, watching someone else, listening to the music. I was like pausing it so much because I was trying to go back, listen out for lines and things. But yeah, we got there eventually. I'm just going to move this camera a little bit. So, a little bit of background on the band. Ad Infinitum is a Swiss symphonic metal band which started its life originally as a solo project by the singer and songwriter Melissa Bonney until bassist, now I may get these names slightly wrong, I believe this is Jonas Asplund, the guitarist Adrian Thebenwitz, and drummer Niklas Müller joined the band and kind of made it one, instead of being just a solo project, they kind of fleshed it out, gave it this good sound. So after these guys joined the band, they signed to Napalm Records, apparently in July of 2019 from my research, and the debut album, which we're going to be reviewing, dropped April 2020. Unfortunately though, in December of 2020, the bass player Jonas announced his departure from the band already due to some unexpected health issues, and he was then replaced by Corbanian Benedict, I believe is how you pronounce the name. So, before the album was released, there was a few singles dropped to build hype for it, which were I Am the Storm, which was in 2018, Marching on Versailles, which is the song that I heard originally and got me into the band in 2020, and See You in Hell, which also dropped in 2020. Also, they did a revisited version of this album, which they did acoustic variations of every single song on it. And the version of the album I am going to be reviewing for you today is actually the deluxe edition, which came with 2 acoustic songs, 2 instrumental songs, and a cover song. So yeah, instead of the original 10 tracks, it's 15, which is another reason why it took a little bit longer. But sorry, moving on, that is all the background and other details you may want to know about this band being covered. So we're going to jump straight into it with track 1, Infected Monarchy. The opening track is 5 minutes and 46 seconds, and funnily enough, I believe it is also the longest track on the album. And because it's so long, and the intro, it does serve as a really good introduction to the world that Ad Infinitum tried to build in their music. It has an epic symphonic open with violins and twinkling sounds in the background until the soft vocals chime in with a line of "Far away from your golden dreams," and this then leads into the song picking up in tempo, and it builds up to the chorus where they used lines such as, let me get this correct, "Every story starts with once upon a time, with the bravest of hearts, but we've a different path, sorry, almost fucked it up. Which then leads into another line which I really liked of, "Our story starts, struggles and fights," and this shows that there's a theme of struggle and hardship to the start of their story based in this world that they're trying to build. The chorus as well is just magnificent, where it says, "If you walk by the shores when the last light is gone, if you walk all alone, you might hear our song." And this carries on into the next part of the chorus, because it's more than just one verse for this chorus, where the singer's voice just serenades you with, "Far away where we belong, run away to the doors of paradise and beyond. When passion ignites, we are voices risen through the night." And the story told in these lyrics is just stellar. Like, they really do, if you listen to it, you can hear, it's almost like an uprising they're describing, sort of thing, which carries on in the next song. Also, in this track, there is a great solo from the guitarist, and as I said at the beginning, it is a phenomenal way to open up your album. So, moving on, we have track 2, Marching on Versailles, which again was one of the singles, and it is the song that I heard that got me into the band. And this opens with a great riff and is an instantly recognisable track at that. The drums have a very war-style marching drum rhythm, where you can hear the sticks kind of like tapping along on the thing. If you listen to the song, you'll probably hear what I'm on about. I can't really describe it very good. Which, again, it ties in greatly with the name of the song, because like it's a marching drum style sound, and obviously the song is called Marching on Versailles. The singer is just, again, on point with this one. The chorus is a catchy earworm one. Like, I find this one getting stuck in my head a lot. Where they say, "March, the day has come, the unwanted arising. March, the day has come, now the fates are changing. March, the day has come, a new horizon shining. March, the day has come, from your head the crown is falling." And there's a faint growled vocal in the back of the chorus, repeating it back after her lines, which is a really cool touch, because it just adds that little extra layer of aggression to the chorus. And I'm pretty sure it is Melissa's growls, because she does actually do a lot of short lines growled on this album. But moving on, there's also a line which is a cool touch, like, I believe it was, "We are the army of silent cries, marching on your denial. We are justice for those who died, for the glory of Versailles." And after the second time this line is done, it's it is when we get treated to our first actual forefront growl, where the singer does the same line. And the best way I can describe her growls is, if you've ever listened to Arch Enemy, the lead singer Alyssa White, it's very similar to that style of vocal she does. But that's just my opinion. That's how I would describe it. Moving on, we have track 3, Maleficent, which clocks in at 3 minutes 50. Just realised I didn't tell you how long Marching on Versailles was. That was 3 minutes and 57. So yeah, Maleficent. This track is an easy one to get lost in, honestly. Melissa's angelic voice is just on full display, and there's some great guitar work and drum work. Again, that is a very common theme with this album. There's just solid guitars and drums. But as I was saying, you get lost in her voice, but then there's one point, I think it's towards the end of the track, where she starts growling again, and it's the line of watch me rise," which catches you off guard, honestly, and before you know it, sadly, the song is over. like I said, it's a 3 minute 50 track, but you just get so easily wrapped up in it that it's over in like a minute, if that makes sense. it's yeah, it's a sign of good story, a good songwriting though. Like if you can make a longer song feel like a shorter song to me. Moving on, we have track 4, See You in Hell, which runs for 3 minutes and 49 seconds. And this one is again a track with a grandiose chorus that captivates its listener, with the line, "Goodbye, my love, may we meet again. Heaven is closed, so see you in hell. Goodbye, my love. Goodbye, my love, for you rings the bell. I have no remorse, see you in hell." I stumbled over that because I wrote it a little weirdly. And there's also a line that is really, really cool, and I liked it a lot, which was, "This last glass of wine, then your heart was mine, so will it be for eternity," which I don't know what it was about that line, but it just stood out to me. It's just something there that's kind of like, that line in particular was really well centered. It fits in the song. And then after the there's like a final chorus. There's a solo, then you get one more chorus, and then the song ends, which I thought was a great way to wrap it up with a, verse solo chorus, because it's just showcasing a switch up a bit, because for the most part their solos were towards the middle of the song, but having one near the end is actually a really good fit. Might turn my light on a minute, it's getting a little bit dark in here. There we go. I can read a bit better there now too. Moving on to track 5, we have I Am the Storm, which is 4 minutes and 22 seconds, and it opens with a slight piano, and then the guitars and drums slowly come in, and before the vocals, and then I specifically like the line, "Nothing will stand in my way as I embrace my destiny. No, your arrows will not bring me down. You're just a noise, a whisper in the night," which gives off a very empowering, self-assured vibe and makes it sound like whoever that person is they're referencing in the song is very confident in what they are doing. But again, 4 minutes 22, and that song was over so quickly. That's why I don't have a great deal to say about it. I found myself really getting lost in some of these songs. But moving on, we have Fire and Ice, which runs for 4 minutes and 35 seconds, and it starts off softly with the line, "Dancing together, building forever, dancing together, building forever," before the instruments come into play and the angelic vocals kick in and stay throughout. And I found myself, again, getting wrapped up in her voice, and by then the song is over. But before the song ended, there was another line that stood out to me, which says, "Together, hand in hand, I'll chase your fears away. From dusk till dawn, I'll be alright," which, something about that, again, I just really liked. Like, it's almost as if she was saying, because these people that they're writing about have each other, there's nothing for them to fear, sort of thing. But again, sadly, I didn't have many lines picked out for that one, even though I did go back and read it, and I listened to that track probably 2 or 3 times yesterday, and each time I was just kind of like, shit, the song's over. Fuck, I'm gonna have to listen to it again. And it's just the vocals, they're just so captivating. I can't say it enough. But moving on, we have track 7, Live Before You Die, which is 4 minutes and 9 seconds long. And this has a nifty bit of guitar work to open up the track. And not long after that, the line, "Don't you want to know about the wonders? Don't you want to know about the stars?" comes in from Melissa. And I think that's a fantastic line that asks a good question about, do people really want to know more about the world they're in before they're gone from it? Also, another point I want to raise is at the 2 minutes 30 mark, there's another solo that is really fucking epic. And if you're a fan of just skilled guitar or instrumental solo bits in songs, that is really worth a check out. Track 8 is Revenge, which comes in at 4 minutes 37 and opens with a piano before what I can only describe to you as an Avenged Sevenfold style riff kicks into gear, and then some badass drums follow suit shortly after. And then the line, "When lights go down, sometimes these states of mind make me deaf and blind. What goes around comes back around." And then you hear the growl of, "Pain burns me." And it was just a simple yet effective way to make the listener, or me in this case, go, "Oh, okay, I wasn't expecting that after, that sort of start." Again, I should be expecting these growls, but because they're so short bursts and they're like really reserved for songs that require that extra little bit of kick, you don't always see them coming. And I honestly wasn't expecting it on this track for some reason. And near the end, it just creeps back in the backing vocals again, so you don't hear it as much, like it's not in the forefront as that line, but it's still there and you can still hear it just bolstering that track that extra bit to make it even more awesome. Track 9 we move on to is Demons. This is 3 minutes 56 seconds, and if you have the basic version of this album, this would be your penultimate song. And it starts with, "Until you bleed, until you please my darkest wishes, until you beg me for forgiveness, your selfish actions I will be watching, tracking every single motion." Just literally opens this up without any compromise. And again, it's just some epic growls in here of, "Now is the time, no more lies." And then later on in the song, there's a spoken part, which I actually rewound and listened to a couple of times, and I was like, sat there talking to myself and my friend, and I was like, "Do you think I should add this bit and like go through it?" And my friend was like, "Well, what is it?" So I read it out to him, and he was like, "Yeah, it's up to you." So I decided, I am going to read it out to you guys. So, the spoken part. "Painful at first, I often found myself wondering how anyone can act in such a destructive and selfish way. But when I looked at the bigger picture, I saw the misery that led to these actions, the strength, the love, and the light that made me overcome them, and the way you must feel now. So I ask myself, will I ever want to exchange the roles, our lives? No, never." And this was just, to me, an interesting addition to the song, and the fact that it comes in right as this, I think it's like the second to last verse or something like that, is just something that was very interesting to me. And not many bands have spoken verses in their songs, or at least that late into a track, but it's an interesting one that makes you think, really. But we're not going to go too deep into that because I don't want this to be too long a video, and we still have about 6 more tracks. So, moving on. Track 10, Tell Me Why. 3 minutes 58 seconds. This would be the final song for you listeners of the normal album. And as a final track, it's very soft, simplistic, easy to keep along to, and it's just a good way to close the album out. Like, you had a solid, strong like badass opening, and then you're just going with a soft, somber song to end it out, which is really good because it shows the progression that you see throughout the album. And again, the guitarist is given their time to shine on this with a solo, even though it is such a somber track. The lyrics were very simplistic, and it was just literally a lot of tell me why, then they're asking a question. So I didn't feel the need necessarily to go too into this one, but if you look up the lyrics, feel free to just drop a comment telling me what you think of them. So, moving on, we will go into the deluxe tracks, which will start off with track number 11, See You in Hell, the acoustic version, which clocks in at 3 minutes and 49 seconds. And realistically, there isn't much to say about it that wasn't said in the original, but it is a lovely rendition of this track. And if you like the original, you will definitely like the acoustic version. It's a lot more stripped back, relaxed. The vocals stay the same for the most part. But yeah, it is just a great, solid version. And the same realistically goes for track number 12, Tell Me Why Acoustic, which is 3 minutes 43. Like I said, it's a lovely rendition of what already was a very nice, somber track. So, again, like I said, with the acoustic stuff, there's not really a lot to say. Same goes for the instrumentals, which then starts with track 13, Marching on Versailles, 3 minutes 52. Like I said, if you're into your instrumental versions of songs or just instrumental overtures, that sort of style of stuff, you'll probably like this, especially if you like the original track. It just kind of allows you more of a chance to indulge yourself in the instrumentation of Ad Infinitum, which already stands out in the full song. But obviously, by doing it instrumental style, you're giving them that extra little bit of time to shine. Track 14 as well was See You in Hell instrumental. So yeah, you got the original acoustic and the instrumental for that one. And this just follows basically exactly what I said about the last track, realistically. Like, if you like the original, if you like the acoustic, you're going to like the instrumental. And it just gives the guys in the drums, the guitars, the bass, that time to shine without the singer, even though they already stand out as it is in the full song. The final track on the deluxe one is 3 minutes and 15 seconds long, and it is a cover of This Is Halloween from A Nightmare Before Christmas. And this is a stellar cover, honestly. Like, Melissa's voice lends itself really well, and it would make a great addition to anyone's Halloween playlist, especially coming up since it's that time of year. And there's an eerie organ, I think it is, that plays in the background a little bit. And there's a part, I can't remember the exact time frame, but a male voice chimes in, so I can only assume that that is one of the other members of the band. But, with that being said, that is the 15 tracks finished. So, final thoughts. For a debut album, it's a really good way to introduce the world to your band, and they've really set the bar high for Chapter 2, which will be my next review. That dropped today, I think it is. No, yesterday. Sorry, I lied. But yeah, so I'll get on with that as soon as possible. Hopefully it'll be done for tomorrow, if I'm lucky. If not, it'll be the 1st of November. Standout tracks. This was hard. I really did struggle to pick 4 tracks. So, after about 10 minutes of deliberation, which added extra time to me, delaying this review, we settled on 4. Number 1, Infected Monarchy. It was a solid opener, really good introduction to the band, the world, their style, so it had to be number 1. Number 2, Maleficent. Really good track that showcases Melissa Bonney's singing and her songwriting as well, and it's just got such great instrumentation. Track 3 and 4, I really struggled to choose which position to put which in because they're both really solid songs and they both had a spot on this list. So I finally settled. Track 3, See You in Hell. It's just such a good song. The chorus is so captivating and grandiose and symphonic and awesome. It had to be on the list. And track number 4, another one that I knew had to be on the list but didn't know where to put it. Fire and Ice. Again, really good, solid chorus that'll catch you. It's just one of those songs that you just get wrapped up in and you just want to listen to it over and over again. So, out of 10, I'm going to give this album a solid... I'm changing it from what I've got written down. Fuck it. It's a 9. I had 8.5, but then I'm like, nah, it is a 9. The only way for improvement would be for some extra growls in the forefront and maybe some actual full verses instead of just odd lines. But that's my opinion. It set the bar so high. Like, as I said, they're already, with their debut album, killing it. I look forward to listening to Chapter 2. That will be my next one. I'm going to get straight on with that. And I will see you in the next video. If I don't get it up in time for it, have a good Halloween. If anyone has any thoughts on the album, has any stuff that they want to correct me on, feel free to drop a comment. I normally reply. I love having a bit of, interaction with the viewers. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share it out. Check out the band, Ad Infinitum, Napalm Records. Chapter 1, Chapter 2, check both of them out. And I will see you, ladies and gentlemen, in the next review.